40-ounce crew.
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut. What up, man?
What?
Whoa.
Hasn't even taken a sip yet. Already. Oh. Scott's on a mission tonight. Spoke too soon.
What up, Hammy? Shout out to Hammy.
The fart
40-ounce
master.
dog.
40-ounce dog on the
Another
couch.
40-ounce dog. The hamster.
This is the ball. Oh God! Some of us have come to call it.
Shout out to Buford. Shout out to Odie. Shout out to He-Man.
Hey.
Shout out to Pizza Hut. Shout out to Domino's. Shout out to Brooklyn Pizza Works. What's up? Shout out to Hemi. Shout out to movies.
Cool.
Shout out to water.
Dude, that was a huge first gulp.
That was, man. Kill it.
Okay, I gotta take a break.
Whoa.
Oh man. Breaks.
Shout out to Breaks. Shout out to Reese's Fast Break.
I
Kit Kat
should have
Fast
taken a break from my
Reese's
first
Fast
40-ounce video.
Reese's Fast Break.
Yeah, put Reese's Fast
I
Break.
can't talk. I
Shout out
probably
to
wouldn't
Independence
feel
Day.
to
Shout out
drink
to
My
like a
first
third of
40-ounce
it.
video, I like just capped my beer and walked away.
Yeah, no.
And Scott captioned me saying, "I'm gonna go throw up." That's what I
I
went to go
hate
do.
beer, so definitely not gonna happen anytime soon.
Shout out to Not Anytime Soon. Shout out to Shout out to the RZA. Shout out to the RZA. Shout out to Old Dirty Bastard. Shout out to Method Man.
Huh?
The only time I drink like chug the 40 with them, I
I think I'm gonna throw up that one chug right now.
Oh. No.
You wanna film it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Throwing Up.
It's not gonna happen.
Oh, come
Shout out
on.
to False Alarms.
False alarm, my bad.
Yeah, I had a
Shout
good
out to
burp on the
Suppressing
way.
Your Bones.
Hey, chug some more of that.
I'm glad.
I'm going to.
I'm glad you're okay.
Shout out to Clearing a Path to make sure he can throw up.
Oh man.
Shout out to
That
Love
first chug
Sacks.
just did it to me. She doesn't mind if I throw up on her though.
Oh yeah, just right in my lap. Go ahead.
What's up, man?
Dude, there's like a fat
Shout out
bone
to
here
Cheers.
from last night.
Got a scared
Shout out to Ted Danson. Shout out to Tony Danza.
What? Like
Shout out to anyone who is the boss. Shout out to anyone aspiring to be a boss.
Shout out to everything that is boss.
Shout out to everything that is
Dude,
boss.
this guy
Shout
can
out to
drink
Boss
40 in,
Clothing.
like 2 minutes.
Hugo Boss.
No, I doubt that.
That pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty
What's
much.
your name again?
Alex.
Alex. Kristen.
Kristen, good to see you
Yeah.
again.
Shout out to those shirts that used to have the duck on them. That was going
Really bad
like
at the names.
making an angry
it's
face.
really
You
bad
Backwards
at
hat.
the boss.
With a
no
sleeve shirt.
Out of my head.
Thank me, I want it for that one.
Yeah, no,
No,
not
it's just
even
you?
that. Not even that. I'm just forgetful.
I can thank you for
Is
that.
that Elliot?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Herbert.
Totally mentioned before as well.
Shout out to beard hair in your mouth. Shout out to Senator Blacks, myself.
Shout out to yourself.
A family company.
Dude, I'm digging this.
Shout out to race. Shout out to
Shout out to
Shout out to-
racism.
It's
shout
just
out to
kinda like.
anti-racism.
It's just Scott catching Herbert, who.
Shout out to
Here's
Scott
the
catching
legend.
Herbert.
Legendary.
Shout out to the legend. Shout out
First
to I
drink
Am
that
Legend.
got you.
Shout out to
He
Will
drinks a lot
Smith.
more 40s than
Shout
me.
out
He drank like half
to
this beer.
Omega Man. Shout out to Charlton Heston. Shout out to Soylent Green.
154.
What?
Shout out to Soylent Green is people.
But this is an old English, and that was a King Cobra.
Either way, beer. Ugh.
Oh no. This one's tough. This one's not sitting well in me.
I can kind of tell.
Shout out to bike rides.
I agree.
Yeah.
I wanna go on a rollerblade.
Me too.
Also known as going rollerblade.
If any of our fans have any rollerblades they want to donate, shout out to Burps. Shout out to coming straight. Shout out to coming crooked. Shout out to coming far, and shout out to not coming at all. Dry
Are you
heat.
coming back now?
Yes.
So that one might figure out what's going on.
This is more casual than last time I've seen.
Yeah, I'm casual. I don't have my best.
Or your cowboy boots.
I'm wearing my old work shirt from Captain's
decorate
Family
on
Theaters.
stage.
Shout out to Captain's
Shout
Family
out,
Theaters.
yeah, big shout out to Captain's Family Theaters.
Establishment since 1906.
That's where me and Kevin Bow, aka Kev Bow, aka Frenchie Almuerzo. These shorts, my mom actually bought me these shorts. Who's my favorite character in The Wire? Omar.
The gay guy.
Yeah. What's his cereal? What's his cereal?
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Shout out to Honey Nut Cheerios.
Y'all got the
Shout out
Honey
to
Nut?
the bee. What's the bee's name? Shout out to Beelicious. Shout out to Bee-diculous.
Remember Responsibilians? I want to be a responsibility.
Shout out to Responsibilians. It's responsible civilians.
Also known as Responsibilionaires.
No shout outs to Responsibilionaires.
Do you run out of shout outs?
Shout out to McNulty.
McNutty.
McNutty. Shout out to Will Smith.
Shout out to Bunk. Shout out to Kima.
Shout out to Bubs.
Kevin Klein. Shout out to Chris Klein. Jason Biggs. Sean William Scott.
Robert Downey Jr.
Shout out
and
to
Zach
Paul Rudd.
Galifianakis in 2010's most anticipated film, Due Date. Shout out to Due Date.
You go ahead and hit it first, bro.
Shout out to Macho Man Randy Savage. Shout out to Slim Jims. Shout out to Auto Theft. Shout out to Get Your Swill On. Shout out to Swill Smith. Love Swill Smith.
The first to be taken out. Then we were here. Exactly where and how.
Is there a Swilly Bob Thornton?
Swilly Bob Thornton.
Every major city.
Shout out to the Swillionaire.
Swill Clinton.
Yep. Swill Clinton.
Swill Arnett.
Swill Arnett. Shout out to Swilliam H. Macy. Shout out to choosing life. Shout out to not choosing life. Shout out to making a choice. Shout out to being indecisive. Or you know what, I'm not sure I want to give a shout out to that one.
Shout out to Bad Jokes.
Shout out to good jokes. Shout out to Swills. Shout out to Swill Arnett. Shout out to getting a joke. Shout out to not getting a joke.
William Shakespeare.
I gotta know, like, 3 different types of beers for Pilsners.
Shout out to
lagers,
Vivica A. Fox.
IPAs. And,
Vanessa L. Williams. Shout out to Pam Greer. Shout out to Jeff Greer.
I gotta pick
I used to be friends with him in middle school.
Daniel's gonna come up and party tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
Well, he was gonna have stuff tonight and tomorrow.
Well, Daniel told me if I wanted to go out for beer. I just told him I was time to get off work, so
He wasn't his father.
let's see what happens with that.
And he wanted to
They're
go.
gonna drink it, God knows when.
I want to play some beer pong tomorrow, but
That's it.
So what do you do?
Shout out to Herbert.
dude, apparently they like Sean had a barbecue the other day and I didn't go. And
No.
Matt and Mike went 16-0.
Don't be. I'm not.
We would have eaten.
It's good
Matt
news.
got so drunk that he passed out there and had to call David to pick him up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
Because David and Mike took his strength.
What's that kid's
I
name?
want you to meet the first lady.
Do you
He wouldn't
know?
wake up.
That little kid.
Yeah.
It's Will Smith's kid. Shout out to Emmett Smith. Shout out to Troy Aikman. Shout out to Hank Hill.
Time?
It all counts. If it flows, it goes. I just made that up right now.
Flows of Hearts.
Did we figure that out?
Huh?
Is there like a timer on the camera or something?
Oh, you can stop the camera.